Good evening, Drew.
Paul Baylor, how we doing?
Oh, living the dream.
Yeah?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm just surprised that I could remember that it's Thursday. all of the days blend together for me. I'm sure it's the same for everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's especially like weekdays. It's hard to know what is, what is, hold on, my headphones are too low. I mess with my dials. Everything is wrong.
Uh-oh, you missed with your dials and your dip switches and your cans are too low?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? It's fine. I'm still recording.
No. It's okay. Let's.
No.
Okay.
Hold on. Test. That's much better. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
Do you listen to yourself in your headset?
I do. I have my. Oh. I have. Yes, I have. It's not at full volume. It's a little bit, just so I can. I don't know. I've tried it without. I tried it with. I like it better with. That's just me.
I find that if I try to listen to myself as I talk, it distracts me. In fact, that's a really fun game to play. Like, if you could set up your headset that it plays back what you said, like, 2 seconds after you say it, it completely messes you up. Like, your brain just ceases being able to process because you're trying to listen to yourself and talk.
Luckily for me, it's not done with software. It's actually done, my USB interface that I have has a spot for my headphones and a little dial for that, and it just does it right through there. So I tried doing it, but before I had this particular one, I tried doing it with software, and it introduced just enough of a delay that it drove me absolutely insane.
I'm listening on the direct monitor now, and I can hear myself.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
But I'm going to turn it off because
okay.
I don't want to hear myself.
All right.
So anyway, how was your week?
Very busy. It's gone by extremely fast. Just work is just very, very active right now. How about you, Drew?
It's been a challenging week.
Okay.
I've been extremely busy, and I've got some pretty big deliverables for a bunch of different things that are coming up very soon. Next week is going to be a very busy week as well. If I can get through next week, the rest of the month should be pretty light. So I just need to get through next week. I'm teaching a class on Azure Databricks for a customer, remote, obviously. We'll see how it goes. This will be the first time I've ever tried to deliver this particular piece of content remote, and it's going to be a challenge, I think. Especially if it's people who have never worked with this product before. The last time I did this in person, there was a lot of hand-holding just because there's a lot of places where if you don't do things in the exact right order, things break and you're kind of just better off starting over.
Got it.
So, yeah. So it's going to be one of those. But I'm optimistic. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's a pretty cool class to teach. It's going to be for a company that I haven't worked with before, so always good to network and get to know new people. So that's coming up. Just I don't know, man. Everything's still kind of weird. I have not left my house in probably 10 days. Like at all. Like I didn't go. Like my wife has been pretty bored and she's been wanting to get out of the house, so I've just been kind of like subcontracting the errands out to her.
Yeah.
Literally the only time I have left my house was to go out to my driveway to get some Chipotle that somebody had delivered.
Yeah, a week ago on Friday, I went out to pick up some groceries. Well, have groceries brought to my car at Kroger.
Okay. Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
I have an important question to ask you, and it's part of show follow-up.
Okay.
A very, very concerned bestie of the show was really, really sad to hear that you couldn't get bananas.
Okay, yep.
Did you get bananas?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
That we're going back like 2 shows ago, but this particular listener was, quote, very sad and wanted to give you a hug and also a banana when they heard the show. So I just want to be able to report back to them, and I'm sure they'll hear it too, that you did get bananas. Because the next offer was going to be is that we have bananas. We could give you bananas if you needed them.
No, we're good with bananas. In fact, we got too many bananas, and we've turned some of them into banana bread, which has been good. Which has been good. I've also enjoyed that. But yes,
I feel like in the banana evolutionary scale, banana bread is like the highest possible tier of banana bread. I like it more than banana pudding.
True. Yes. I mean, there's no higher form of banana than the banana bread. Yeah.
All right. So real quick, let's do a patented doing their best ranking. So banana bread is top tier, right?
Absolutely.
What's the next best thing you can make with bananas?
Oh, we don't make anything besides banana bread. I mean,
okay. Well, let's hit the obvious ones, right? Like, there's obviously we mentioned banana pudding, which the best part of banana pudding, if I'm honest, is the Nilla wafers.
I mean, I guess there's a banana split.
Banana splits, right?
Okay.
We'll just put regular bananas in there, right?
Okay.
And you know what? Hot take: bananas by themselves are better than banana pudding. Don't at me.
I agree. Yeah.
Banana splits, never a fan.
Yeah, they're fine. I'd just rather have ice cream.
But yeah. But are they better? But are banana splits better than banana pudding? No.
I like pudding. Pudding's good.
Pudding. I like pudding. Let's see here. Banana recipes. What else can we make with bananas? I feel like we're missing something.
Just type banana into Google and see what the autocorrect.
That's a risky proposition. 22 banana recipes. Hold on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Well, let's see. I got a banana bread recipe, banana bread, banana republic, banana.
Yeah, see.
Banana nut bread.
Okay, so all right, hold on.
Banana pancakes. Banana muffins. All right. There we go.
Okay, banana pancakes. All right. Banana pancakes. Better than banana bread? No. Better than bananas? Tough one.
I mean, you what I like better than banana pancakes would be putting like bananas onto cereal.
Banana cereal topping. Okay, all right, hold on. Cereal. That's not how you spell that. All right, so banana bread, banana cereal topping, banana pancakes, and then bananas, or bananas and then banana pancakes?
I would say bananas, then banana pancakes.
All right,
but I could be persuaded.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a link in the show notes here. I went down a different track here with the banana thing, and literally 5 of these recipes are the same thing. I mean, like banana muffins, isn't that just banana bread?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
Now here's the important question: do you like nuts in your banana bread?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So those of you listening, this has been the hot take portion of the show. We don't like nuts in our banana bread, and banana bread is the highest form of banana recipes. Don't add us for this particular issue. And you can find our ranking in the show notes. Okay, that's a pretty good place to start that. So I'm glad that you got bananas. Now, the other piece of follow-up that I want to hit here is my fruit snacks have not arrived yet. That should not be shocking, considering I ordered them a week ago and all deliveries are kind of, sideways. But my squirting fruit snacks have not arrived. And gonna be honest, a little disappointed. Was kind of looking forward to having a review, a live show review ready.
Yeah, Amazon's just it is also weird. Like, a lot of things that aren't food related or aren't like staples have like weird delivery times. Mm-hmm. But then like literally late yesterday, like after like 8:00, I had been kind of looking to get some new pots, pans, skillets, stuff like that. I have some that are kind of like, I'm noticing the Teflon the anti-stick coating starting to scrape off. So like, you know what? I need some new pots and pans. And I literally ordered them yesterday evening, and they showed up today. Like, I had no expectation for getting these for weeks.
That's a little weird.
It just like, boom, hey, delivered. And I was like, yeah, that's weird. So I'm not sure why my pans were so quick in your squirty fruit snacks.
my moist fruit snacks.
Oh.
I'm anxious to try them.
I said squirty.
You said squirty. Squirty. There's a show title in there. I haven't worked it out yet, but we'll get there. Okay. Any other follow-up before we go on?
I don't know. What did we talk about last
I don't know.
week?
You were starting to talk. Okay, I derailed everything per usual, but we were talking. You were giving updates of things. You went to the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
You had groceries delivered to your car.
Yes.
Because I hadn't gone out of the house. Okay, we're working backwards.
Okay, pop in the stack.
Yeah, we're working backwards.
That's the only thing I've done that is involved leaving my house has been going to get groceries, and like this is a topic that'll come up later, and then walking to my mailbox like once a week to get my mail, because my mailbox is not near my house. That's a topic for a little bit later.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't, and honestly,
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. You changed the show notes. Okay, so hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, slow down. So we've mentioned before that Paul and I maintain a Google document that has all of our show notes in it. So like topics that we want to discuss on the show, we put in a Google Doc, and all of our previous episode notes are in here in case we want to go back and research anything. And then we have like a backlog of things that we'll get to eventually. But under episode 45, you had a topic in here that said, and I quote, Paul wants to complain about his house. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but you have told me stories about your home ownership journey at your current address. But
yes.
You have changed this topic to be Paul wants to complain about his address. So, color me intrigued.
So I really thought about what I wanted to complain about, and we can talk about my whole other house problem as well.
Can we? Because I felt like there was like an attorney-client thing.
I mean, that's a good point. Maybe we should avoid that particular topic until that court case is settled.
It's at your discretion. Nobody listens to us, so I feel like you can talk about it.
It's a topic for, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mostly, today I just want to complain about my address.
All right, let's have it.
Okay. So we have lived where we live now for a few years now, maybe 3, maybe 4, and our address is infuriating. So let's just talk about, first things first. Let's just talk about the mailbox. So we built our house, and we live out in the middle of nowhere. Very very suburban, cookie cutter houses. In a housing development, and houses typically have a mailbox at the end of the driveway. Do you have a mailbox at the end of your driveway, Drew?
We do.
I also do. Does mail actually get delivered to your mailbox?
Yes, but it's interesting that there isn't like a discernible schedule for our mail. There will be weeks that it arrives at 11 a.m. and there will be weeks that it arrives at 8 o'clock at night.
So my mailbox has never had mail delivered to it, ever. It's vestigial. It's a vestigial mailbox.
Okay. I'm curious why that is.
Yeah, me too. So we were among the first set of houses that kind of were built in our neighborhood. And our home builder just assumed, like, I don't know, rational people, that if they put a mailbox at the end of our driveway, the post office would use it. Well, so we moved into the house, and we just didn't get mail. Like we did the whole like change of address thing, but we never got mail. And then we were talking to some of our neighbors, and it turns out that the post office refused to deliver mail to our community until the home builder put up like locked shared mailboxes for them to use.
So I think I understand the concept of these shared locked mailboxes because we had those, at the apartments that we rented, right?
Yep, exactly.
But you don't have an apartment.
No.
You have a house.
I have a house.
Okay.
So
and you don't live, and to be clear, when you say a house, it is a a plot of land with a house on it. You are not in a gated community. You are not in an exclusive community or a condo community where even then I think I could see that happening. You have a house.
I have a house.
You have the canonical home, right?
Yes.
Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Close your eyes and picture a house. I live in one of those.
Yes. That doesn't get mail.
It has a vestigial mailbox. Yes.
Okay.
So that was kind of the first kind of problem with address related things. All the other problems stem from one. So I'm going to try to do this in a way that people don't get my address, but I'm probably going to slip. It's fine. It's fine. We live on Chestnut Commons Drive. The next road to the south is Chestnut Estates Drive. So obviously, when we moved into the house, our road didn't exist, right? It just didn't exist. It was brand new. It wasn't in any of the postal software. It wasn't in Google Maps. It wasn't in Apple Maps. It wasn't in MapQuest for the 12 of you people that still use MapQuest. It didn't exist anywhere. So a lot of times, in fact, all the time, if someone had our address and put it into some sort of mapping software, they would put in, yada, 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 Chestnut Commons, yada, yada, yada. And then the software would go, oh, you mean Chestnut Estates, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. So when we first moved into the house, just about all of our packages, regardless of, unless it was the United States Postal Service, it was FedEx, it was UPS, it was Amazon. In fact, this was actually before Amazon did their own home delivery. Okay, so it was just FedEx and UPS. It would be delivered to the wrong house. So, the family that lived in that particular house on Chestnut Estates, we got to know them, and they would get our packages for us, and we would go over from time to time and get our packages, and everything was fine. Oh, and just fun little side note, Google still has my address wrong. Like, if you put my street address in, it gives you a different city and a different zip code. It shows you, get you the right place, but it's like not my real address, and I can't get them to fix it. But that's neither here nor there. So in the more recent time, Amazon started delivering their own packages. Now, like UPS and FedEx, they had figured it out, right? They're reliable. They're batting 1,000, right? If a package has come in FedEx or UPS, it ends up on my porch 100% of the time. Amazon, not so much. So, and I mean, you've Amazon Prime subscriber, right? They've delivered things to your house.
Correct.
And I'm sure you've seen the feature where, you'll get a notification on your phone saying, hey, they're like 10 stops away, and you can kind of click on it and see a map in your neighborhood.
I do not get those notifications.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Do you get the text? Is it from the app? How do you get them?
I get them through the app. I have notifications turned on via the app.
Huh.
And
okay.
It'll give you a notification that the driver's close. Now, on that little map that they kind of display, I can clearly see my road. Chestnut Commons. But the little, red circle that indicates where my house should be is on Chestnut Estates. So, most of the time, in fact, when they first started doing it, it was all of the time, they always delivered my package to the wrong place. Again, the fine family that lives on Chestnut Estates. I have tried calling support. I've tried going on the video chat. I've tried I have delivery instructions on my house that says, hey, I know the map says where my house is, but that's not where it is. And basically explain the situation and saying, please deliver it to my actual house. The odds of a delivery agent actually reading those instructions and following them, it goes up and down, but it's probably around 10 to 15%.
Wow.
It's low. It's low. Every once in a while, you get like a driver who repeats the route and comes a few times, maybe like for a week, and then they'll get the hang of it, but then a new driver comes in. But unfortunately, with like this whole like, social distancing thing, like A, I leave my house less, and B, like I really want as little human interaction as possible with this whole situation. My packages build up on their porch until I get in the car and drive and go get them. Or if they're, doing something, though sometimes they'll bring the packages over as well.
So you have befriended the people in question.
Yes.
Okay.
So the reason this entered my mind is I had a very unique experience today with said pots and pans.
All right.
So it's right around 5:00 in the afternoon, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for dinner. And my phone rings, and I see it's coming from Seattle, Washington. And if it's not a number I recognize, it goes right to voicemail. I don't even think about it. Just no, decline. And then I decline the phone call, and then immediately the phone rings again. I'm like, that's weird, but I hit decline again. And then I get a text message basically saying, hey, I'm your Amazon driver. I don't know where your house is. I'm like, okay, like here's my phone number. Call me and I'll help you out. So I call him. He's like, hey, like I'm not sure where you live. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm like, well, that's why I have the delivery instructions, and like trying to figure out where you're at. And I thought, you know what? I'll just go stand on my front porch. And that way if he's driving around, I can flank him down. Well, I walk on my front porch, and there's literally an Amazon Prime van in front of my driveway. Okay.
All right.
So I walk out, and I'm like, oh, like I can see your van. You're at my house. And then he proceeds to tell me, well, I don't know. No, I don't know where your house is. I can't figure it out.
I don't know where your house is.
I'm like, I'm literally looking at you right now. And then he tries to tell me a whole story about how but no, you're not understanding. I can see you talking on the phone inside your van.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, me too. Oh, okay.
It probably took a good 5 minutes for him to realize that if he just turned his head 90 degrees to the right, he would have seen me.
You should have thrown something at his truck. So what did he say? Like, what did this driver person say whenever they got out of the car?
He's like, well, like the Amazon map had you live in somewhere else, and then I put up my map and put your address in, and it took me somewhere else. So I'm guessing he probably used Google and freaked out when it didn't have the right, city or zip code, because
that is fascinating.
Yes,
that is fascinating.
Google has my address wrong. It's really fun. But I'm like, no, like that's why I have my delivery instructions, which no one reads, on my address that kind of help you with that. And then he gave me my pots and pans, and then he left.
And this is just one occurrence of many.
Oh yes, I mean, we maybe do 50-50 that we get our package delivered to our house or not. We had one streak where it was really, really good for a while. And then recently it's been abysmal. In fact, I believe since this whole quarantine started, maybe like 2 out of 10 packages were delivered to the right house, to our house. It's poor. It's poor. It's really become a joke that, and the funny thing is like now that, now that they're kind of just dropping the package a lot, we get a lot of notifications saying, hey, your package was delivered and handed directly to a resident. And I'm like, by handed directly to a resident, do you mean left on our, the other family's porch? Like a lot of times they attach the picture, you know, like, hey, look, this is where your package is. And I've gotten very familiar with the appearance of this family's porch.
Well, all right. So, I guess,
yeah.
Obviously, this is a postal, like this is a government issue, right? Because this, like, your street isn't like geocoded correctly or something.
I mean, it is now. It is now. I just don't think Amazon's figured it out yet.
But hold on a second. Are you actually getting mail now?
To our not to our mailbox, but we get mail.
Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. Is that going to get fixed?
We were never going to get mail to our mailbox, but we do have, for like the first 6 months we lived here, we had to go to the post office to get our mail.
Right.
They have put in those shared mailboxes, you know, lock boxes. There's a few of them all around, and all it means is really I get the mail. Before the quarantine, I maybe got the mail every other day. Now that, you know, we're all stuck in our house, I maybe get out once a week to check my mail, because it's just, you know, it's down the street and around the corner.
Yeah, but this is what I don't understand. Like, are they ever going to not make you do that? Like, why are they making you do that?
So now this is all anecdotal, so I'm not 100% sure. But like the gist of it that I have heard is like post offices have a hierarchy, right? And like the little ones will report up to the bigger ones, and there's, you know, some grand poobah of the post office. So
yeah, he's the postmaster general. Go ahead.
Okay. So I like mine better. In my mind, I can pretend he owns a tiger. So our post office doesn't report up through Franklin County or Columbus's post office. They report through Cincinnati. And apparently Cincinnati has issues with mail theft. So in a effort to combat mail theft, they have decided that they weren't going to deliver to home mailboxes ever again, unless it's already, you know, for new houses, they're requiring these lock boxes to be put in.
That's interesting.
Which, you know, it's fine, but like if the home builder would have known that, I'm sure they would have made different decisions, like not putting vestigial mailboxes,
or putting secure mailboxes in, because you can get that too, right? Like you can buy mailboxes that lock.
That is true. And honestly, where like these, you know, shared lock boxes are, they're literally an afterthought, right? Because the home builder was like, we have to do what now? Like, we have to put these in. So they're kind of just wedged in between the sidewalk and the road, and they're kind of in weird places in front of people's houses. And
let's be completely honest with ourselves. If I have a pickup truck and a chain, I have your mailboxes.
You're right. Absolutely. I mean, it's cemented in, but yeah, with enough torque, you can pull that sucker right out.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not as secure as they're thinking.
Oh, and here's another fun thing about my address. It took us probably 2 months to get Spectrum to actually install cable to my house, because what would happen was so when they imported all of our addresses, this whole Chestnut Commons versus Chestnut Estates thing kind of reared its ugly head. And what would happen is I would call out, I would say, hey, I would like to get service. And they're like, hey, great, we'll send someone out. And then some sort of exception would occur saying, hey, before we run cable to your house, we need to send out a technician to make sure everything's fine. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. It's a new build. I get it. It's fine. Well, that technician would go to Chestnut Estates and not Chestnut Commons, see, oh, this person's already a customer. They don't need service. And then the whole thing would be canceled, and then I'd be calling again. And eventually I got a middle manager who actually, gave two craps and figured out what the problem was, and was able to actually get their computer system to not mess with the address and get everything. But we were literally without internet for 2 months, maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but it was many weeks.
I very distinctly remember the struggles you had getting internet.
Yes.
It's when you and I were working together, and I very, very distinctly remember that struggle. Because you only really had one choice, and it was Spectrum. At the time, it was Time Warner, I think, right?
Yeah, at the time. Yeah, I think they had just switched. Because the fun fact, the middle manager that I talked to had actually come from Time Warner, and was like, ever since the merger, like they kind of pick by random like which companies people stayed and went, and like the systems aren't talking to each other, and like
they
everything.
Basically, it was basically Thunderdome. You had to go in and literally fight to the death for your job or your system. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and he was real apologetic, and he was like, "It's just madness in here." Like,
I gotta go. They're waving the guns around. I gotta get out of here.
Like coming for the gasoline. Yeah.
I get that reference.
Oh,
well.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So just that incident with me shouting at the the poor Amazon delivery driver who was calling me from the unable to find my house from literally the end of my driveway. It just made me go, I need to talk about this on the show. And
I mean, that's why this show exists.
Yep.
So, I mean, you did it. Oh boy. Okay.
and sometime when, either I get froggy enough or the court issues are settled, I'll talk about my other problems.
When there's not quote unquote pending litigation.
That way, when the lawyer asks me if I ever talked about this on my podcast, I can say no.
Right. Yeah, you're going to want to contact John Kruger. It's Kru. Oh, man. Because that is a whole other kettle of fish, by the way. And I'm on the inside of that discussion, but, whenever the time is right, you're absolutely going to have to tell those stories. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Whew.
Basically, home ownership is terrible. The end. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Turns out.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm really sorry that you had to deal with that. It's one of those things that I think if I lived closer to you, you could just have them shipped to me. But we're literally on opposite sides of the city of Columbus. Like it's not. It's probably a 45, 50-minute drive between our places. It's
about 35, 40. Yeah.
Yeah, 35, 40.
And there was a period of time where I gave up and delivered everything to my work. But I ordered lots of Amazon stuff, and then there was an email kind of shaming people for sending too many packages to the mailroom, and I stopped doing that. Yeah.
I used to do that too.
Yeah.
That you can't do that anymore?
You still can, but they just shame
it's frowned upon.
Yeah. Okay. And if there's something really important or expensive, I will still do that just so I know that it shows up and I can get my hands on it and it's not, sitting somewhere else. And if I live closer to civilization, I would consider doing like the
locker.
A locker like you've done before. Something like that. But
listen,
I don't live close. Yeah.
Whenever we're back to normal and you're back in the office and everything, you don't work terribly far from me. So it's one of those things that if you need a place to have something dropped, I mean, it's not like I ever go anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Changing gears for a minute. You and I have talked a lot about Animal Crossing on this show.
That is true.
And I have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I have gone down a pretty deep rabbit hole of trying to make money in that game.
Okay. And
I have played the stock market game. I have used shady online people who at one point in time have the little bastards, the child labor raccoons selling or buying the turnips at exorbitant prices. So I am a man who will do what he needs to do to make sure he doesn't lose money in that game. But I had a hot tip thrown my way, We've mentioned on the show that in Animal Crossing, you can basically collect things. You can collect bugs, you can collect fish, and you can collect fossils. And you can also sell those three things for money. And depending on how rare or dangerous the bug in question is how much money they're worth. And the most dangerous bug in the game that I'm aware of is the wily tarantula that will sting you and make you pass out.
Yep.
Paul, what I have done is I have figured out a way to basically create a nightmare island full of tarantulas.
Okay, so I have heard rumors about this, but I haven't looked into this. Please tell me about Nightmare Spider Island.
Okay, so there's two types of Nightmare Spider Island. Okay. All right, so for those of you that aren't playing Animal Crossing, when you play the game, you have an island that belongs to you, and the basic game is you developing and turning this island into a community by building houses, bridges, ramps, planting flowers and trees, and basically building up a raccoon-based economy for the island and paying off a home loan. Which, if this sounds a lot like your real life, it probably isn't too far away from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, you want to make sure that you have a constant stream of income in this game. And there's, different avenues depending on how much you want to grind at the game or how much you want to play the game. Well, like I was just saying, you can catch bugs and you can sell these bugs. And it's kind of the luck of the draw because the bugs are seasonal and they're also kind of time boxed. So if you want some of the rarer bugs, you have to play at a certain time of the day. Now, there are ways to time travel in this game that, like, let's say you're always in bed by 7 o'clock at night. Well, you could change the time on your Switch to be different. And then, the game will adjust accordingly and you can play, quote unquote, at 7 p.m. and everything will look the way it's supposed to look. So anyway, tarantulas. So tarantulas are spiders in the game, obviously, that spawn, and you can catch them if you're quick enough. And unlike the other bugs in the game, like, there will be bugs that spawn on top of flowers or on top of cut down trees or just butterflies flying around. You can craft a bug catching net and you can run around and you can catch these bugs. And there's a little bit of skill involved in it because you have to be able to, like, kind of sneak up on them and then use your net to catch them. Well, the tarantulas in this game are harder to catch because they actively, like, hunt you.
Oh yeah.
They come after you. You are the food chain in this game.
They do this little rear up animation where, like, their front legs come up. And
it's really creepy.
It's the stuff of nightmares. It really is.
It is creepy because they see you and they kind of rear up. Now, if you stop what you're doing, they will kind of stop what they're doing. And it's like, hey, we can be cool here for a minute. But if you move or get too close, they will basically jump and then run at you with alarming speed. So you have like a split second to swing your net and catch them. If you don't catch them, they basically bite you and it causes you to be quote unquote knocked out where you spawn back in front of your home. And a lot of times the spider will despawn and then you can't catch it.
Yeah, once it bites you, I think it disappears. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of walks away like a badass and then it disappears. But if you catch the spider, you then have the spider and then you can sell the spider for anywhere between 12 and it's more than that. I want to say between like 10 and 16,000 in-game dollars, which is a lot. Now, people have figured out, and I have done this myself, that you can basically force these tarantulas to spawn, and you can do it one of two ways. In the game, you can visit remote desert islands, and literally it is capitalism because you parachute into these islands and you just demolish them of natural resources. You go there to get resources that you cannot get on your island, whether it's different types of fruit, different types of plants. You can find people stranded on them and get them to move to your island. You can dig up fossils. You can find other insects. You can get other fish. It is like a candy store. And once you leave the island, you can never go back to that particular island. It's almost like a procedurally generated thing. Yeah. You fly in, you get what you need, and then you leave. Now, these islands have different themes. Like the island that you start on has like a fruit. Like my island, I started with pears.
Me too.
Yeah, I think pears are probably the most common from what I've seen. But there's also peaches, there's cherries, there's oranges. I don't know if there's any other ones.
Yeah, and your non-native, there's coconuts, but those really
there's coconuts, right?
Yeah.
There's coconut and palm
your
trees,
non-native fruit is worth more money on your island.
Yeah, so like if you go to one of these islands and you shake all the trees and you like if I go to an island and there's oranges, I could take all the oranges and bring them back to my island and sell them for more than I could sell my pears. But the real play here is you just don't take the oranges, you take the whole tree. So you basically transplant the whole tree, and now you're growing oranges on your island, and you can sell the oranges without having to fly to another island. See, so that's the real trick here. And then there's also bamboo, which I now have on my island, which is pretty good.
I don't have bamboo yet.
Yeah, so that's an example of a theme island. So I didn't get bamboo until I went to an island that was literally nothing but bamboo. Like it was literally every tree was bamboo. Like even on the beach, everything was bamboo. It was bamboo all the way down.
Okay. That's
all right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so Spider Island. So Spider Island is one of those theme islands where literally tarantulas are spawning on top of each other, and like you'll be trying to catch one and two more will be charging at you. And that island is a random encounter that you have to kind of be, I don't know if lucky's the word, to be dropped into. But what you can also do is that when you fly to any of these other deserted islands, you can basically create your own Spider Island. And here's what you here's what you do. Here's what you do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the island and you are going to absolutely ravage it. You are going to cut down every tree. You are going to dig up every stump. You're going to pull every weed. You're going to pick every flower. You're going to literally make sure nothing is standing on that island. Okay, you will completely take every resource off of it. And what I did was because I didn't want to run out of pocket space, what I did was everything that I basically took that I didn't need, I buried in holes. So there were like markers all over the ground of things that I buried, but I had a completely demolished island.
Okay.
Now, after you do this, the only things that will spawn on the island are bugs.
Okay.
So now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the tarantulas come out, because what you have to do is you then have to run around the island and you have to like scare away or capture and release like the tiger beetles or the wharf roaches or the ones that are really hard to see that can prevent the tarantulas from spawning are the water bugs.
So you have to get rid of all the all the rocks, all the trees, all the weeds, all the bugs.
Everything.
So basically, you're like napalming the island.
Exactly. And then the tarantulas come out. And I caught 15 of them last night in about 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. I got bit a lot because, you know, depending on the layout of the island, there's those cliffs and sometimes they spawn behind there and you don't know it until like you see them darting at you at high speed. And like, you know, you want to make sure that your tool belt is set up that you can switch between like your ladder, your pole vault, and your net pretty quickly. So that way you can, you know, quickly switch to things and turn around and catch them as they're sprinting at you. But then, you know, I brought back a literal pockets bursting with water bugs and tarantulas, and I made about 250,000 bells for about an hour's worth of work. Yeah, it was pretty good. So if you're looking to make money, I would say do that. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny, actually, when you're trying to figure out, like, how am I going to get this crap out of my pockets? Because the number one thing that's hard to deal with is the flowers. Because you can pick the flowers and you can dig up the flowers, but you either have to keep them in your inventory or you have to bury them. So what I did is I just basically took them down to the beach and, like, put them all in a corner. And then, like, you know, every couple minutes I just do laps around the island and, you know, just wait for tarantulas. But you have to, like, scare off or catch every other bug to make sure that they spawn. So yeah, that's something I learned. I did it last night. Worked out pretty well. Gonna do it again tonight because Flick is visiting my island and I can make even more money right now.
There you go.
He's there till 5 a.m. tomorrow. So when we get done here, I'm gonna go create another spider island.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh. So that's my plan. That is my plan. What about you? Where are you at with your Animal Crossing?
I really haven't played that much. I've kind of set it down for a little bit. Well, first of all, the whole like egg thing really annoyed me, and that kind of disinterested me.
Oh my god!
And I know that's over. That the crisis is over. The bunny is gone. I probably plan on picking it back up this weekend, but I've been busy doing other stuff, and I got addicted to other video games, so I've been playing.
What are you playing?
I'm a little embarrassed. I have started playing Elder Scrolls Online.
Okay, I've never played. I'm familiar with it, but go ahead and tell why.
I mean, I used to play World of Warcraft. You know, big, chunky, crunchy MMOs, multiplayer online. Massively multiplayer online. That's what it is. That's what the other M is. The first M is for massive. And I saw someone on Twitter talking about it. I'm like, you know what? I've never really played that, and it's not free to play. It's like cheap to play. It's like the base game is like $5 to $8 depending if you get it on sale, and then there's no subscription unless you want to give them more money for, bigger pockets and faster experience and leveling. And I decided to give it a try, and it really took me two attempts. Like, I made my first character and I was getting into it. I'm like, oh, I see all the horrible things I've done wrong. So then I started a second character, and I'm getting really into it. And in fact, my son has saw me playing, and now he has also gotten really into it. And apparently, grinding runs in the family, because he told me this evening that it's his favorite game he's ever played. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you play together?
No, there's no cross-play. I play on a dirty console, and he's a glorious PC gamer. And
good for him.
Yeah, and it's, and it hurts a little bit because, his computer and my PlayStation are in the same room. So if he's gaming and I'm gaming, we're together, just ignoring each other. And I can look over at his monitor, and like, his graphics are just so much better, and it's so much easier to navigate the UI with a mouse and a keyboard. And I'm just like, oh, he can just push a button and bring his inventory. I've got to hit. Okay, I've got to hit options, down, X, down.
Okay, Paul. So it begs the question: why don't you get a PC and play with him?
My shoulder mostly. I just can't. I can't mouse that much.
Yeah.
I just can't. It would destroy me completely, which is why I am a dirty console gamer. But
no, I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
But we trade tips, and it's actually interesting because, depending on the race and, your alliance, you start in a different area and you have a different starting quest. So it's been kind of fun to compare notes and what he's been doing.
Tell me a little bit about your character, or his character. Like, what are you playing?
I decided. Originally, I made a sorcerer, which is kind of like a long range, like, DPS or damage per second character. And then, I made some mistakes, and then I realized that, especially if you want to queue for dungeons, like if you play a DPS character, you're waiting 30 minutes because there's just so many of them. So I kind of retooled, and I went with a Templar, which is kind of the if you think about D&D terms, it's kind of the cleric, right?
So a healer, damage dealer, right?
But you can specialize differently. You can have a damage dealing Templar. You can have a tanky Templar. But I'm focusing on healer. The healer is what I had the most fun playing when I played WoW. Though when you're a healer, everything's your fault. Everything's your fault.
Everything's your fault.
And my son is kind of playing around with the idea of playing a healer as well. And I told him, just know that when you do dungeons, no matter how stupid everyone you're playing with is, when they die, it's your fault.
Do you play games to have fun or raise your blood pressure?
Yeah.
Because if it's the latter, then be a healer. Because I played a healer in WoW for a number of years too.
Yeah.
Played a healer in most of the MMOs I ever played.
Yeah. You just have to know that just people are going to yell at you, and you'll be like, nah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the biggest complaint that I've heard about that game is that, when the first character you make is not going to be your best character because a lot of the game systems aren't necessarily apparent. Like, I'm sure there's wikis that can teach you some of the intricacies, but you're going to make some mistakes. And from what I understand, there's just some classes and some skills that are just kind of useless.
Yeah, you have It is one of those games where like the real game doesn't start until you hit like level 50. But you need to do like, and oddly enough, I started watching all these videos after I started playing the game. And there's certain things you basically just have to be aware of that, like how skills rank up and what's an ability versus a skill point and how to get skill points and how they increase and, and if you're not aware of those things, you will make stupid decisions. Or not stupid. You will make decisions that seem logical to you, but actually kind of, will make it that when you hit that level 50 kind of level, you'll be weaker than everyone else at that same level. So, I shared the same YouTube videos that I watch with Zachary and kind of gave him a heads up. And, I don't know how much he'll get into it, like whether he'll join a guild and don't start doing raids. And right now he just kind of just enjoys running around and stealing things from people and killing things and, doing quests. But he seems to have a really good, he seems to be really enjoying it. And I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of, I have my next level is like my next big milestone. So when I'm level 15, can't wait. Yeah, I get 2 sets of action bars, so it's going to be really exciting. And once I hit that, that's when I start planning on doing dungeons and maybe seeking out a guild. I just kind of wanted to get my, as a healer, especially if you're going to do anything kind of solo, you kind of have to have 2 modes of play. One that you're soloing and you can do damage and stuff, and then you need to have a kind of another set that's all around support and healing others. So once I get all that set up, I feel pretty good, and then I'll start getting my hands dirty with the the more social aspects of the MMO. Yeah, so it is. And I know what's going to happen, because this happened with WoW. What happens with Destiny? It happened with Destiny 2. It happened again with Destiny 2. I will play these games. I will invest lots of time. I will really enjoy it. And then one day I'll sit down to play, and I'm like, you know what? I just can't take another minute of this game. And then it will be gone. But it's fine. It's, as far as, video games goes, it's relatively inexpensive. So...
have you ever looked at Warframe?
I played Warframe for about an hour and a half, which I know is not enough time to play Warframe. But I decided that end of that hour and a half that nope, I do not get this. I'm out.
Yep, it's you want to talk about a game that doesn't tell you anything, and you kind of have to really read a lot of wikis and browse a subreddit to get it. I played the crap out of Warframe with friend of the show Robert. We played a lot of Warframe, and we got to be pretty good at it. And it's one of those games that consistently gets new content and new features. And I haven't been back into it since the last 2 big content patches. But man, oh man, is that it's Space Ninjas. You're a Space Ninja. Yeah. It's what you are. Yeah. Or a space wizard ninja. I don't even know.
It's like someone looked Destiny and was like, "Oh, wow, that's way too streamlined."
Yeah.
Let's get weird.
And weird it is.
You only have 3 currencies in Destiny?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Wow. I feel seen.
Yep.
Okay.
And well, it has a big crafting. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of crafting. There's a pretty decent grind there, but that's enough video games for tonight. What do you say we wrap this one up?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh. As always, you can find us on the internet at doingtheirbest.com and on Twitter at doingbestpod. And you can reach me at Paul Baylor on Twitter. That's BAHLER. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on the Twitters at Pitfurg, PITTFURG. I'm also over on Twitch, sometimes streaming video games at PITTFURG as well. Drop by and say hi.
Awesome.
Yep. All right, everybody. Well, until next week.
Yep. Have a good week.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yep.